Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. So excited to be here with you guys. Awesome. All right. Looks like a couple people are joining. Awesome. Okay. I think we're good. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my program and happy World Ocean Week. Good afternoon. Happy World Ocean Week. I'm so excited to be doing this program for you. We're going to talk about some camouflage creatures of Monterey Bay, or how I like to call them, masters of disguise. Again, I'm so excited for you to be here. And we are live. We are live here at Asilomar State Beach. You can see behind me, we have this beautiful beach here. We are at a California state park located in the central coast of California. My name is Nicole. I'm very glad to meet you all. And thank you so much for joining me again. It looks like we have a couple more people in here. Thank you so much for joining. So, my name is Nicole. I work for California State Parks and I work as a park interpreter for Asilomar State Beach. As a park interpreter, part of my job is to educate people about our beautiful park and all of its natural resources that we are able to enjoy here. For those of you not super familiar with the area, I'm going to go ahead and show you a map so you can see exactly where we are right now. All right, so again, we are in a city called Pacific Grove, and we are about 10 minutes away from the bigger city of Monterey. If you've ever heard of the Monterey Bay Aquarium or even Cannery Row, these are some pretty cool places to visit when you're in the area. We are just down the street from there. We are also about 2 hours away from the bigger city of San Francisco and about 5 hours away from Los Angeles. So, as you can see on the map, we are right in the middle of the Central Coast. All right, and we are live here at the beach again. Um, this is a very special park, and I want to give you some time to really be able to soak in all of the beach's beauty. So I am going to turn us around here. Yay. All right, and let's see what's going on at Asilomar Beach today. Over here on our left, this would be the main beach here at Asilomar. And let's just take it all in. Let's take a look at what we have. All right. It's a particularly windy day today, so I'm gonna try to speak as loud as I can here. But this is a California state park. Here at Asilomar, we have a special waters here. As you can see, the Star Ocean here. Um, and our nearshore waters are very special because they are part of what's called a marine protected area, an MPA. And in this MPA, there is no fishing allowed. There are certain rules and regulations that we have in place in order to better protect our ocean environment. Not just the marine life that lives there, but also their natural habitats and everything that makes the ocean so special. So we have the Q&A open. I would like you to go ahead and make some observations about what you're seeing right now. Um, what can you hear besides my voice? What does the sky look like? Go ahead and type in the Q&A or talk to a partner. What are you seeing right now? What are some observations? All right. People are saying waves, lots of water and rocks, a beautiful sea. I see that too. Rocks and sea and a blue sky. Yeah. So this is all what makes up this beautiful ocean habitat. Right here in front of us, these would be the rocky tide pools. You can see the waves crashing on them now. And yeah, so Asilomar Beach is home to a bunch of different marine ecosystems, and all of them are protected by our FEA and our beautiful state. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and uh, all right. Thank you for taking some time to enjoy the view here. Before we get right into our program, a couple of technical things. We do have the Q&A open, and you'll be able to answer some of the questions that I have for you. If you have any specific questions about anything through the program, go ahead and hold on to those, and we will have time to answer any questions you have at the end of the program. So I will be able to answer any of your questions. I will be happy to. We also have the reactions open. I will ask you to give me a thumbs up every once in a while. So right now, can everybody give me a thumbs up if you are excited for this program? All right. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up, and I will give you two thumbs up. I'm very excited. All right. So, for an animal living in the wild, it can be a really hard place to live. There is constant competition between animals for shelter, for food sources, and animals need to have certain adaptations that help them to better survive and thrive in their environments. Now, if you've ever heard of the word adaptations or you think you know what it means, go ahead and type in the Q&A what you think an adaptation is or share with a partner. What is an adaptation? All right, someone said to get used to something. Yeah, that is pretty close. So, an adaptation is a process of change that animals will go through in order to be better suited for the environment that they live in order to live in their environments easier, to make their lives a little bit easier. Some examples of adaptations can be having sticky suction cups all over your arms to cling on to rocks while and avoid being washed away by the ocean, just like a sea star has. An adaptation can also be being able to hold your breath for a really long time, just like a whale. So these are examples of different adaptations animals have to help them survive in the wild. But today we're going to focus on one special adaptation. Can anyone tell me what is it called when a plant or animal is able to blend into its surroundings? What is that called? Right, camouflage. That is correct. That is called camouflage. Camouflage is the ability to hide or disguise something. And that can be done by covering it up, changing the way it looks, or by using natural colors and shapes in order to blend into an environment. You might have seen some different examples of camouflage kind of out and about. If you recognize this pattern here, this is what's known as camouflage print or camo print. And this is a print that hunters will wear on their clothes while they are out hunting in a forest. And it helps them to blend into the background of a forest. The different shades of greens and browns and blacks help them to blend into things like trees and bushes and go unseen from the animals that they are hunting, like a deer. Now, I want us to think Why would an animal need to camouflage? What would they use camouflage for? What would they use this skill for? Some of you are saying to hide, to blend in, to not get eaten, to stay away from predators. And yes, these would all be correct. So while some different animals can have sharp teeth or claws that help to protect them, or even a really hard shell, some animals rely on camouflage in order to protect themselves from potential danger and also to hunt for their food. Now, camouflage develops in different species of animals in a couple of different ways. The behaviors of an animal, like whether they are social creatures or solitary, whether they live alone or together, can affect how they camouflage. Um, the behaviors of an animal's predator also affects how they camouflage. So there's a couple of different ways that species are able to adapt to their environments to rely on camouflage. And for ocean animals, that is no different. Ocean animals use camouflage just the way that land animals would in order to protect themselves from danger and look for their food. Now, today we're going to be talking about four different marine animals. These are all animals that can be found here in the Monterey Bay. And these are animals who I consider to be masters of disguise. For each of these animals, I'm going to first show you a picture. And I want you to see if you can spot the animal hiding within the picture. And then we will talk about how they're able to camouflage successfully and why they need to use this skill. All right. So let's jump right in to our first master of disguise. All right, here is our first picture. I'm gonna give you about a minute. I want you to see if you can find the animal hiding in the picture. And when you do, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up when you think you have spotted the animal. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up in here. Let's see. All right, so the animal that is hiding in this picture is actually right here in the middle of this kind of grassy plant here. And this is an animal known as the bay pipefish. This is a long pencil-shaped fish that lives along the coast of California. This is the bay pipefish. And as you can see, the bay pipefish looks a lot like a type of plant called eelgrass. And this eelgrass is another type of plant that grows along the coast of California. And you can see that not only its body shape, but the colors of the animal actually match the grass that is in this picture really well. So they look like a blade of grass. And this is how they're able to camouflage so well. The bay pipefish doesn't change anything about themselves in order to camouflage. They use a camouflage technique known as concealing coloration. And this is the use of natural body colors and shapes in order to blend into an environment. Now, bay pipefish rely on these eelgrass beds. They spend most of their lives living in them, and they are not active hunters. So when they need to eat, they wait in the eelgrass bed for their prey to pass by in the grass, and that is when they will have a snack. The prey of a bay pipefish would be tiny zooplankton and also small crustaceans. So they are able to wait in the eelgrass beds for them to float by and catch their snack. And because these bay pipefish blend in so easily to their environment because they camouflage so well, they do not have many natural predators. Only a couple different types of bigger fish and birds will hunt for them if they can see them. So this makes the bay pipefish really special in the way that they camouflage. Again, they're not changing anything about themselves. They are just using what they naturally have to blend into their natural environments. And even more special, the bay pipefish can actually swim vertically as well as horizontally. So, like a fish swims in the ocean this way, horizontally, they can actually make themselves swim upright this way and sway in the water just like a piece of eelgrass would and swim this way. And that helps them to blend in even more. So, pretty cool creatures, these bay pipefish. All right. So I'm going to show you our next master of disguise, another creature who uses marine camouflage. Again, I'm going to give you some time. Go ahead and see if you can find the animal hiding in this picture. And give me a thumbs up when you think you've seen it. All right, sorry. Let's see. All right, I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up. So the animal that is hiding in this picture is this animal right here. It is in the center of this picture here. And this is what's called a decorator crab. Um, these decorator crabs are some of the most fabulous looking crabs of the sea. They decorate themselves with different materials that they find in their habitats, but they're not doing this just to look pretty to decorate themselves. They are doing this as a form of camouflage. Let's see. All right, so I have a model of a type of decorator crab with me here today. The term decorator crabs is given to a bunch of different types of crabs um, that all live within the same family. But each of them are a little bit different. But the thing they have in common is having hooked bristles on their bodies called setae. And these setae act like a Velcro that allows them to put on decorations and take them off as they please, and depending on the environment that they're in. Here, this is a moss crab. This is a model of a moss crab. You can see its legs here. This would be its shell, and its long arms are able to reach all the way back to decorate all over its body. And the moss crab will use their Velcro-like hairs. If you can see the Velcro that is on here, this is very similar to the way that the sea tie would look. And they can use this Velcro to pick up pieces of plant material like seaweed and kelp and place it on itself. It can also place live animals on itself as well, as you can see here. So in these pictures here, you can see this is the moss crab in its real form. The moss crab is special because it has setae covering its entire body, not just parts of its shells like other decorated crabs. It will have setae covering its entire body so it can decorate its entire body. And you can see that with these little bristles all over its body here. In this picture, the moss crab has pieces of seaweed and kelp attached to its head and its arms, and this is helping it to blend in with its surroundings. The decorated crab will cover itself up. It will disguise itself to look like other ocean materials. When danger is passing by it, when a predator is near, it will freeze wherever it's at, so it blends in even better with its background. And it won't move until it knows that it's safe. Decorated crabs can also put actual live other animals on their backs as well, using their setae. In this picture, we can see sea sponges attached to the moss crab's face here. These are those white sponges that is on its face. And we can also see some tiny sea anemones over here. Now, the relationship between sea anemones and moss crabs is pretty interesting. Sea anemones have tentacles that will sting and freeze different animals when they try to eat it. So it doesn't make it a very tasty snack that ocean animals want to eat. So I want us to think about, why would a decorated crab put sea anemones on its back? How would a decorated crab benefit from having a sea anemone on its back? Someone said to make itself look bigger and to scare off predators, to protect it so other animals won't eat it. And those are all correct. So the decorated crab will place the sea anemone on itself because it stings other animals. So it makes it less likely that other animals would want to eat the moss crab with a sea anemone on its back. It's an extra form of protection for it while it's camouflaging. The sea anemone is also able to get a free ride through the ocean, living on this moss crab's back. And they're able to snack on the leftover food that the moss crab eats. So it's kind of like a win-win situation for both of these animals. So the decorated crab is using a disguise to camouflage itself. It's using other materials in order to hide its identity and to hide from predators like sea otters, and also to catch prey like mussels and clams. So this is another successful form of camouflage that we can see with this moss crab. And that's why I think he is also a master of disguise. All right, we are on to the next master of disguise. Right. I will give you guys about a minute again to try and see if you can find the master of disguise in this picture. If you can find the animal hiding. Um, Again, give me a thumbs up when you think you found it, and I'll give you a hint. It is not the shelled animals in this picture. That is not what we're talking about. There's a different animal hiding. All right. I'm seeing a lot of reactions here, so let's see if we are right. The animal hiding in the picture is right here, between the shells and the rocks. And this is an animal called an octopus. This is an octopus. And this picture is actually really cool because this is one that I took here at Asilomar Beach in the tide pools when the tide pools were low. Someone had a really good eye and was able to capture this camouflage creature. So this is a really cool picture of a octopus. And this is the octopus. This is one of the um, greatest masters of disguise in the ocean. The octopus is a really smart animal and they are able to camouflage in a really cool way. Now, octopuses have special skin cells all over their bodies that help them to change their skin color and their skin texture to match any background that they are on. These special skin cells are called chromatophores, and these chromatophores are like sacs of pigment or color that expand or get smaller in reaction to whatever background it is on. Um, so with these chromatophores, the octopus is able to change not only its skin color, but also its skin texture in the blink of an eye. Now, you might think that the octopus uses its eyes and its brain in order to change colors. Like if the octopus were to see a rock and say, oh, this rock is gray, I'm going to change my color to gray and change my texture to look like a rock. But that's not entirely true. It's thought that the octopus actually uses its skin to make the decision. So the skin of the octopus actually acts like an eye, and it is able to change the skin color and texture of the octopus, no matter the background that it is on. And, and it's also believed that the octopus is also colorblind. So they can't even see the colors that they are changing to, which makes their abilities all the more impressive. Here in this picture, we can see an octopus in full hiding mode. You can barely see the outline of the octopus here. But if you can see the octopus, you can see that it not only matches the color of the background, but also the texture. You can see the tiny bumps all over the skin of the octopus that matches the rock filled with algae that it is sitting on. So this is how an octopus is able to camouflage to its environment. Now, again, I want us to take a minute to think, why would the octopus need to use camouflage? What do they use camouflage for? What do you think? Go ahead and talk to a partner or type in the Q&A. Someone said to blend in so they don't get eaten, for hunting, sneak, attack, hide, and hunt. These are all correct. Yeah, so these are all reasons why an octopus would need to use camouflage. Another reason is because the octopus is a soft-bodied animal. They are invertebrates, which means they don't have any bones. And they're very squishy animals, which makes them very tasty to eat. So the octopus relies on its camouflage abilities because he is such a squishy and tasty animal. The octopus is part of a family called cephalopods. Cephalopod in Greek actually means head foot. So his limbs are actually fully connected to his head. And the cool thing about an octopus is that all of its internal organs are actually in his head up here. This is its body sac. So if we were an octopus, it would kind of be like if our entire sections here that hold all of our internal organs was placed on top of our heads, and then our arms and legs were connected to our head. So pretty cool thing about the octopus and how they're able to camouflage so well. Right. And the cool thing about, oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. My screen was sideways there for a little bit. But that is okay. So the octopus again is a great example of marine camouflage. They are one of the coolest examples of marine camouflage, and they're doing it by creating camouflage. They are changing the way that they look to match whatever environment they are in. All right. And for the last master of disguise we will talk about today, I'm going to show you the picture of the animal first. Now, this is a great white shark. And great white sharks use a special type of camouflage to help them blend in just to the background of the open ocean. So unlike other animals we've talked about today, where they blend into grass or they blend in tide pool habitats or rocks like an octopus, these animals need to blend into just the ocean background. So I want us to talk about some of the ways that a great white shark, I want us to make some observations about the great white shark and what you think would help it to camouflage in the open ocean. If you can't see the pictures, here is a great white shark, and I want you to make some observations about it. What do you think would help it to camouflage in the open ocean? What are some observations that you can make about the great white shark? Right. So the great white shark has two different colors on its body. The top of the great white shark is a darker gray color, and the underside is white. And this helps it to blend into the open ocean by mimicking the way that light hits the ocean. If we were looking at the great white shark in the water, as if we were below it, let me show you this picture here. Its white underside blends in to the lighter surface of the water up here where the sun is beating down. So you can see that the white underside of the shark actually blends into the lighter colored water. And if you were a tiny fish underneath this shark, you might not even notice it was there until it's too late. Now, the top side of the shark is a darker color, and this helps it to blend into the darker ocean floor, um, the darker ocean that is underneath the surface of the water. So if you were above the shark looking down on it, it might be kind of hard to see the shark in the dark water. And this is a technique known as counter shading. It's when the animal's back is a different color than its stomach. And a lot of different ocean animals use counter shading as well. You can see different types of fish with a different colored back than their stomach. A humpback whale has a blue back and a white stomach as well. And even penguins use counter shading with their black backs and their white stomachs. So this is a cool way that ocean animals are able to blend in even without anything around them, just to the open ocean. And again, just like the other animals we've talked about today, the great white shark will use camouflage in order to sneak up on its prey to hunt for its food. And it can also use camouflage to hide from danger, to hide from its predators. And you might be thinking, who would a great white shark need to be hiding from? They are at the top of the food chain. You think that they are a top predator. And while one of their main predators is a orca, is a killer whale, and there's another predator that great white sharks face, and that would be Us, that would be humans. So humans have and do fish for sharks in the ocean. A lot of animals in the ocean are being fished for, um, and their ecosystems are interrupted, and they're facing a problem known as overfishing. And this is when too many animals, too many fishes are taken from the ocean too quickly before their populations are able to grow. So this is a way that humans impact marine life through overfishing and fishing for them. And there's a couple different ways that we have combated this issue, but one of those is through our network of marine protected areas or MPAs. Again, the Asilomar Beach has an MPA placed here and it affects all of our north near shore waters here. And within these MPAs, there is no fishing allowed and no taking of any marine life of any kind. Even collecting tiny shells on the beach is not allowed because those shells can become homes for tiny hermit crabs and are part of the bigger ecosystem, are part of the bigger ocean ecosystem. These MPAs are also important habitats for fishes and other marine life to live. Within these MPAs, our marine life have constant access to food, they have constant access to their natural shelters, and because they are not being fished for and they don't have any outside disturbances, they're able to grow bigger, they're able to live longer, grow bigger, have bigger families, and therefore ocean life is able to grow. So it's important that we protect our MPAs, that we follow the certain rules that we have in place here, like no fishing and collecting, in order to help protect our beautiful ecosystems. And in turn, this helps our camouflage creatures. It helps them to stay healthy and hidden in their natural homes. I want us to think about some of the ways that we can help to protect our oceans, even from far away, even from wherever you live, if you're not close to an ocean like this. Go ahead and talk to a partner or type in the Q&A. What are some ways that you can help protect the ocean, even from far away? All right, I've seen a lot of people say to not pollute or litter, to pick up trash. And yes, this is one way that we can help protect the ocean even from far away. Trash can still end up from into the ocean from wherever you are. And by keeping all of our environment clean, we can help protect our ocean creatures. I know that I wouldn't want to live in a home that was polluted by a bunch of garbage, and I don't think our marine life like that very much either. So yes, definitely picking up trash, not littering. These are all ways that we can help protect our ocean. Okay, someone said to use less plastic to recycle. And yes, of course, by using less plastic, we are helping our environment overall by using less plastic forks, water bottles, straws. These are all ways that we can make an impact to help clean up our environment and protect our natural oceans and our marine life. And one of my favorite ways that we are able to protect marine life, even from far away, to help protect our oceans, even from far away, is by learning about marine science, about learning about our ocean and how much it provides for us, and caring for our ocean. Because if we start to care for our oceans, we start to act in ways that actively protect it. So, learning about marine science, learning about our really cool marine life that exists here in Monterey Bay and other parts of the world is one of the ways that you can help to care for our oceans, and especially during World Ocean Week. This is very important. All right. Well, I want to thank you all so much for joining my program today about camouflage creatures of Monterey Bay and animals that I consider to be masters of disguise. I hope you learned about some really cool examples of marine camouflage today and some really cool animals that live here in Monterey Bay that can camouflage. Um, Thank you so much for joining me. At this time, if you had any questions throughout the program, please feel free to ask them now and I will give you an answer for them. Thank you so much. All right, somebody asked, how do aquatic animals survive plastic? Plastic is not a very good thing for animals to be eating. Sometimes it can even be fatal. They can choke on things like um, the plastic wrappers or things on these soda bottle cans. Um, so eating plastic is definitely not something that we want our aquatic animals to eat. I think sometimes they might be able to pass it through when they eat it, but for the most part, we want to try to keep our beaches clean. We want to try to keep our environment clean in order to help protect our aquatic animals because it is definitely not good to eat plastic. Somebody asked, do I like my job? I do love my job. I love being able to talk to all of you about marine science, to teach you about some really cool things about our state parks. Especially here, I work here at Asilomar State Beach and also at Point Lobo State Natural Reserve. And these are some really beautiful places to work and have a career in. So this is a really cool place to study marine science, to learn about it. So if you're interested in any type of marine science, I would definitely look into state parks. It is really cool, and obviously, I have a lot of fun doing it. Somebody asked, why is there so much pollution? And that can be from a couple of different ways. When factories are creating things like plastic or any type of material, there is definitely smog going up into our atmosphere. That affects our ozone layer, brings a lot of carbon dioxide into our environment. And that is one way that we are affected by climate change. For pollution, a lot of garbage, having a lot of extra waste, things that we don't necessarily need, or too much garbage contributes to the polluting of our earth. So, kind of cutting back on things that we don't need, using less plastic, wasting less trash. These are all ways to help with our pollution problems, and overall can help our our overall environment and our ecosystems, especially our ocean ecosystems. Somebody asked if I have to get into a class to take this job. Yes, I did go to college and I did study environmental science. So that is one way that you can get into this job that's called interpretation here with state parks. Um, yes, I did study environmental science and I love to learn about our beautiful ecosystems, all of them, including the ocean. And right now, I've been really loving learning about marine science. I think one more question. Someone said, "Have you ever seen an orca in real life?" I've not personally seen an orca, but orcas can be seen here in Monterey Bay. Outside of if you are familiar with the Fisherman's Wharf or in the Monterey Bay area, orcas and killer whales can be seen here living with their pods. And so they are a really cool sight to see. They definitely are here and living here. I hope to see one day. I think I will have to get on a whale watching boat in order to see one, but that would be really, really cool. All right. Well, it looks like our time is up for today. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you learned a lot. And again, happy World Ocean Week. I hope you join in some other webinars that are going on with California State Parks this week and continue learning about marine science because it is